The Herbert W. Nickens Award for Minority Health and Representation in Medicine, established in 1999, honors an individual or representative of an organization who has demonstrated commitment to cultural diversity in medicine. This year's recipient is Dr. Monica Vela of the University of Chicago School of Medicine. The committee was unanimous in its recommendation of Dr. Vela because she is the true embodiment of the spirit of the Nickens Award. She has shown an outstanding commitment to diversity, promoting it as a leader, educator, and physician. She is currently Associate Dean for Multicultural Affairs at the University of Chicago, and her work spans the continuum of medical education from high school students to faculty. As is noted in her nomination letter from Marshall Chin, quote, "Her innovative work has transformed the University of Chicago from an average medical school in its commitment to diversity to a path-breaking national model. She has been an incredible leader, moving institutional mountains, serving as a kind and inspirational role model for trainees, and sharing her innovations nationally through rigorous scholarship, publications, and presentations." Quote, Dr. Vela is a role model for all general internists who care about promoting equity in medical leadership, education, scholarship, and access to quality health care. Please join us in congratulating Dr. Vela on receiving this award.
Thank you all very much. My hard-driving mentor told me that my acceptance speech needed to be 1, humorous, and 2, inspirational. High standards, and y'all need to be prepared for these high standards because he's your next president, Marshall Chin. Dr. Nickens was the founding vice president of the AAMC's Diversity Policy and Programs Unit. His passionate leadership contributed greatly to focusing national attention on the role of diversity in medicine and also the need to focus on minority health. I am very certain that he is part of the reason that I'm here today to receive this award, and I am very honored and very humbled. As Mexican immigrants with middle school educations, my parents struggled for themselves and for their children. My father taught himself to read when he came to this country using an early phonics reader, and he proudly took his citizenship exam 2 years later. Working 2 jobs, Monday through Saturday, my father managed to convey the very deep importance of a tremendous work ethic, while my mother stayed home and pushed us forward in education. By the way, there were 5 of us. In those early days, my father found, and our family found, their health care at the local Cook County Hospital. It was there, because I was taken as an interpreter, that I caught a first glimpse of what it meant to be a physician. These doctors were on the front line, caring for the truly underserved. They were mission-driven, and they were incredibly fulfilled. And it was here that I found my inspiration to become a physician. Unfortunately, my early days in school were not very auspicious. I was terrified of the English-speaking teacher, as I was only Spanish-speaking. I found it frightening to be alone without my siblings in the Head Start program, and I ran away every single day when the teacher turned her back. My mother patiently walked me back to the school, and on the 5th day, the principal said, "Please, just keep her at home." I was much faster the following year in kindergarten, and so I was actually posied to a chair for the first 2 weeks. After that, I learned English very quickly. My parents were extremely conservative, having come from a small town in Mexico. They were very religious, and they felt that a woman should not leave her home until she was married. In a bizarre twist, I actually found myself at age 17 running away from home to college. The day had all the makings of an excellent Spanish novela, with my mother walking around with her rosary, praying that there would be an act of God, a tornado, or hurricane, that would not allow me to leave the front door. My father refused to drive me to the Greyhound station because he was following in my mother's lead. But no worries, they came around about a month later. About 8 years ago, I went to my dean and asked that I be allowed to develop a health disparities curriculum for our incoming first-year students. And I told her at the time that my hope was to send out 10 generations of students who were interested, involved, and engaged in addressing health disparities. We are now in our 8th year, and with my colleagues, we've worked hard to develop and deliver this curriculum. Over 30 national experts and local experts come in and teach our students about health disparities. But overwhelmingly, every year, the most highly rated portion of the course is our trip to Cook County Hospital, where we once again meet with those inspirational physicians, and I find my students in tears when they realize that caring for the underserved is not a burden, it's not more difficult, it's actually incredibly fulfilling. I know that many of those physicians are here in this audience, and I have to thank them for allowing us to make that annual trip and for them spending that day with us. Another portion of the course requires that the students participate in small groups in an innovative service or research project or develop an educational product addressing a disparity. And this is where I've learned the most from our students. They are a highly diverse, highly motivated group. They've taught each other, they've learned from each other, they've been willing to share their experiences as diverse people. One group of students actually developed a food depository within our pediatric hospital, and over the last 4 years have delivered thousands of bags of food to families who were in a food insecurity position. Another group helped local clinics to enroll in a statewide program allowing them to offer free mammograms to uninsured women. And I could go on and on with these stories. Another group called Mission Nutrition has been delivering an after-school nutrition program to our local public school systems in the area. And so I tell you my background and I tell you what I've learned from these students in order to highlight the very memorable people in my life, the teachers who taught me English, Mrs. Fulton, who taught me how to read, Mrs. Falk in 2nd grade, who shared her personal library with me when I was done with the school library. These people paved the way for me to even consider attending college away from home. I want to highlight the people from outside our small Mexican community who came into our community to serve and to teach and to share. I want to highlight the incredible mentorship and the collegiality of the people at the University of Chicago. I'm truly fortunate and I'm truly grateful. I do think that the medical profession has a responsibility to all segments of society. I do believe that diversity is a living entity and that it is something that needs to be nurtured and supported. I do think that we as privileged physicians need to reach outside of ourselves, teach advocacy to our students, reach outside of our clinics and our universities into the local communities. I can't see now. And when we get tired, we should reach for the young people, for our students entering the profession with their great hopes of social justice and their incredible indignance of social injustice, and let them stoke our fires. My students have certainly driven me forward. In any case, I know what my father would say if he were alive today. He'd tilt back his hat and say, "Well, Monica, now that you've won this award, you're going to have to work a little bit harder." And that's what I intend to do. So thank you very much.